Alan Wake 2 is finally getting a release date of 17th October. However, the game is also bringing something entirely new. This time around, other than Alan Wake himself, you get to play Saga Anderson. According to the director Sam Lake, Saga Anderson was inspired by a need to tell an ambitious, multifaceted story where multiple perspectives can help illuminate how far the franchise's dark forces have spread. He also mentioned how both Alan Wake and Saga Anderson are heart of the story. So in some ways, this game is also a Saga Anderson game. Saga finds her place in the story on the trail of FBI agent Robert Nightingale, who you must know from the original game because he was taken by the darkness. She is joined by her partner, Sam Lake himself. She travels to Bright Falls and stumbles upon an odd cult and investigates around it. And that's what we get to see in the trailer. It looks like Bright Falls has become much darker ever since Alan Wake has vanished. And the more darker, the better. It could be possible that Saga Anderson has ties with Anderson brothers who appeared in Alan Wake. When GameSpot asked this question to Sam Lake, he actually avoided eye contact, which means that there might be some kind of connection that Saga Anderson has that she herself doesn't know about it. And the Anderson brothers might be one of them. Sam Lake also said that they had different versions of Alan Wake 2, but this one is the darkest by far, and that's why they needed someone like Saga who has dealt with grisly crimes and can step into the scene and believably hold her own. The game's story takes place 13 years after the first game, bringing both old and new characters. Players will experience both perspectives with Saga's investigation and Alan's attempt to finally escape the dark place. Sam Lake said, "For me, a big part of the ambition for Alan Wake 2 was that we should be more driven on a story-focused experience than we have ever been before. Find ways to build on that, but at the same time, experiment with different methods of storytelling. We have certainly explored different ways of doing that in our past games. Here, we just wanted to take everything that we have learned and push it as far as we could imagine for this. So part of this is to have these two narrative journeys almost floating side by side and giving freedom for the players to explore and progress in these stories." In terms of gameplay, the camera looks to be much closer than how it was in any of the previous Remedy games. It looks very similar to that of Resident Evil, so it could be possible that there is scarcity of ammo, less resources, and definitely much more scarier enemies. Just like Alan, Saga will fight using the light, burning away the darkness from the enemies to leave them vulnerable to the weapons. While Saga fights in the dark woods of Bright Falls, Alan is fighting in a city. Well, at least that's what it looks like because that's what the darkness is projecting to him. In the trailer, we actually get to see something called N-View Hotel. Maybe that's Ocean View Hotel. In Control, there was an Ocean View Motel that you, Jesse Faden, would always go back into throughout the game. It could be possible that Ocean View is a transit junction spanning across all Remedy Universe's stories. Remedy is going really forward with this Remedy connected universe, so we might be able to see some previous characters coming back in this game. At least I would love to see some of the locations from the previous game. That would be very cool. Alan Wake 2 getting more darker is definitely what we want, and it's also one of those games which is not overrated. But the same cannot be said for Resident Evil 4 Remake because many people might believe that it's overrated. But is it really? Check this video out to know what exactly is the case.